Hey there, my lovelies. Welcome back to Creepy Medical Facts. Today's topic, medical cannibalism. Let's go. So I'm pretty sure you're wondering, what is medical cannibalism? Well, to say the least, cannibalism involves the consumption of blood and body parts. But what is the medical aspect of it? Well, with this particular subject, the medical aspect ties into restoring vitality, alleviating illnesses, among any other little thing that was deemed medically necessary back in earlier generations. But it was also a leading start and causeway into vampirism. And another question I'm pretty sure you're wondering, well, how come we haven't heard this before? Well, you may have. It just had been in an obscured part of history. So we would actually see this more often with the ancient Romans, with the gladiators, who would use the consumption of blood before an event to alleviate certain medical situations such as epilepsy. Fast forward on to the Renaissance, a lot of people would utilize the consumption of a young teenager's blood to help restore the vitality and restore the elderly back to a youthful standpoint. Not exactly ideal, and it's reflecting a little bit much with Elizabeth Bathory, but I digress. Let's keep going, shall we? This also tied in with the consumption of mummies, and yes, the very same kind of mummy that you're thinking there. However, with this particular consumption of mummies, it actually was believed to help treat consumption. However, they had to follow a very interesting recipe. Let's take a look. So this particular recipe was actually followed as this. So this right here was given by a Franciscan apothecary in the 1600s and was recounted in a book in 2011. I'll kind of scoot out of the way so you guys can see there. And if you need a little bit more time, definitely pause to read. And that there was only part of the recipe. The rest of it actually used part of the components associated with the mummy itself. In this case, the pitch-like substance that was used to help embalm them. And that particular substance was then gathered, dried a little bit more, and then ground into, I guess you could say, like a fine powder, and then processed through a sieve that was eventually mixed in with other medical components to help a person with their particular disease or illness that they were battling. It was also utilized for paint colors, but let's get back on track. While that was entirely on its own, they still utilized parts of a person's body, in this case, their skull, their femur, their tibia, even their teeth. However, this wasn't something that was found commonly in the old world. It was actually established predominantly by Europeans in the New World. And this was something that was meant to satiate the fact that we had all these medical illnesses and no way to explain it or ways to effectively treat them. However, I'm pretty sure you guys are thinking, oh, this, stopped, maybe a century or so ago. Not necessarily. In fact, it didn't necessarily stop. The last documented case of kuru, or medical cannibalism in this case, was documented in 2009. And yes, that is the most recent case that I've seen so far. While many continue to try and stop this from happening, we can't definitively say that it will. Thank you again, my lovelies, for allowing me to bring back creepy medical facts. And if you have any suggestions or would like to hear more on the subject, let me know, drop a comment, and we'll get to it. Thank you again, guys.